What do you think, sightseers? You gonna end up on the naughty list or the nice list? Because, as it just so happens, I have a copy right here of Sightseeing Sally's Santa's Nice List. What do you think, Santa? Is anybody gonna end up on the dreaded naughty list this year? Yeah, I know. I don't like to say things like that. I guess maybe my expectations were just a little high, is all. Rocking around the Christmas tree. Na, 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 na. Hey, sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here. I'm with Marty and the pups once again. We're on another road trip. Marty's laughing at me because I'm just full of the holiday spirit. And that's because we're headed to a town up in the UP, or the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, that is also supposedly full of the holiday spirit. And that's because, can I get a drum roll please? The name happens to be Christmas, Michigan. Yeah, I know, there's actually a town in Michigan, although after I looked it up, I hear there's also a town, I think in Florida, that's also Christmas. But so there's two places here in the United States that are known as being Christmas. And like the name suggests, the town did at one time have something to do with Christmas. It's my understanding that there was once a factory that made Christmas stuff. Although everything I read online, it didn't state specifically what kind of Christmas stuff. For all I know, the guy could have been making artificial trees.
Maybe wooden buttholes for teddy bears.
Okay, I don't...
Christmas teddy bears.
I don't think that's such a thing. Maybe he was making misfit toys.
Maybe.
But unfortunately, the whole Christmas factory that was there no longer exists because it burned down at some point.
Wooden buttholes burned to the ground. Wood burns.
Yeah, it does, and I'm sure if that's what he was making, there might have been somebody that wasn't too pleased by that. So maybe they did burn it down. I don't know. But we're going to go check it out because why wouldn't you want to go see a town that's called Christmas?
At Christmas time.
Yeah!
I actually think there might be one in Arizona called
No, that was Santa Town or Santa something.
Oh.
Santa Claus, Arizona or something like that, but it's not
Probably
Christmas.
right. It had something to do with Christmas, if I remember right.
As you can see, we're coming into Escanaba, which, if you recall, we did a video on that right around Halloween, talking about some of the hauntings in this area and showed the historical points of interest. Escanaba is really a neat historic city, and I had a lot of fun poking around, checking out the historical points of interest, especially the House of Ludington. I got an impromptu tour there from one of the people that's working on helping restore it to its original glory. And I even got to meet a local celebrity, a man who plays in Steelheart. If you recall the band Steelheart from the late 80s, early 90s, they had one song that was really popular. I can't think of the name, but one of the lyrics was "Never Let You Go." Angel Eyes, that's it. It was Angel Eyes. So that was really neat. If you haven't seen the video, I encourage you to go check it out. It was a really good one, if I do say so myself.
Leave the link in the description below.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to do that. I have a tendency to forget sometimes when I'm putting everything together. I'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to put the link in the description below, and then I'll be like,
Okay, we might put it in the description below. Might.
There's a 50-50 chance. Off to my right is the lake, part of Lake Michigan. This might be one of the bays. I don't recall exactly which one. It might be Bay de Noc. Here, let me put up a map so you can see exactly what it is. And then coming up on the left, just on the other side of Marty's mug, here we've got the old Sioux Line
Steam locomotive.
I think that's one of Marty's favorite sights up here. I think he wishes to play Charlie Choo Choo with it.
Darn right.
Would you love to be able to jump on that thing and start it up?
Take a few hours to get it hot enough, but yeah, I'd like to operate it.
You think it would actually start up after all these years?
Yeah, I think so.
You'll notice that they don't have a lot of snow on the ground, which is highly unusual. If I'm not mistaken, they should already be snowmobiling up here.
Normally they are. Normally by us, if there ain't any snow, they all head up to
In
Michigan.
half a mile, turn left onto US 41
They
North.
do. Because they can count on there being snow up here. And right now, it's not looking too good for the snowmobiling season. At least not for the next week or so. I think the weather forecast is in the 40s with rain past Christmas. We're not going to even have a white Christmas this year, which is just kind of sad, because if I'm going to be around celebrating Christmas, I want a full Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, who remembers these from their childhood? The old-fashioned peppermint candies that you bite into and they just kind of
Melt.
in your mouth. We're getting closer to Lake Superior, and there's a little bit more snow on the ground. Not enough yet, though, for snowmobiling. You need a lot more for a good base. For those of you who are geographically challenged, putting a map up for you so you can see exactly where Christmas, Michigan is. It's right up near where we had camped, close to Pictured Rocks, which, if you recall, that particular camping outing started out on a wonderful note.
Yeah, that's when we were camping at that one free area with what I think to be like some ex-parolees or just paroled.
Yeah, they looked pretty sketchy, didn't they?
They were up for like 2.5 days.
Yeah,
So I don't think that was drinking coffee. I think they were dabbling in something else.
Yeah, that's right. That was
They were up for like 2.5 days straight.
And creating havoc in life. We actually left our campsite and moved somewhere else because it was so awful. Do you remember that woman that was chewing the tobacco too?
Yeah, some old woman's chewing tobacco, just like you see out of some hillbilly movie.
I kind of felt like the scene, what was that Burt Reynolds movie? Deliverance? I could hear the banjos playing in the background.
Yep.
We're coming up on Michigan 67 North, where we're going to be turning right. And as you can see, there's the sign for Pictured Rocks, National Lake Shore. It's such a beautiful area up there. Can't wait to get up there and see what it looks like with a little bit of snow. Yes, I know, we're supposed to turn right. Oh, they got a Dollar General down the way. This here is Trenery, home of the Outhouse Classic, which I guess is some sort of outhouse races or something related to outhouses. I'm not really sure. I also think, if I remember correctly, there's a special kind of toast that originated here.
French toast.
Well, no, I think it's called Trenery Toast. And I don't know if they still make it here or if it's made in a different UP town. Oh wait, let me get this. Down there. There's a building. Trenery. It's kind of a little bit of a forgotten town over here. Good morning, Trenery. There's its downtown. They got a tavern. Oh, look, they got some trees decorated. What else do they got going on here? Oh, Green for Life Environmental. They at least have garbage services, garbage pickup. You see anything interesting here, Marty?
Go towards Main Street and check it out.
Beagle's getting all excited. I think she thinks we're gonna stop. She always gets worked up when we get into town for some reason. She likes people. Oh look, they got an old water tower over there.
An old school.
Yeah, an old school. Feed mill that looks like it's still in business.
It is.
And then a church over here on my right. And then what's that on the corner there? Right over here.
Was an old business at one time. Looks like it's a house now.
Maybe. No, it looks like there might be some kind of... Oh, it's the credit union.
It's a bank.
And then you've got the sign for Hub's Truck Stop, Home Cooking, Enjoy Coca-Cola on the side of this building here. And then, oh look, the Trenery Tavern and the Silver Dollar Bar next door to each other. Ooh, I bet you those places are fun on Friday night. And then they had a co-op grocery and restaurant at one time. There's their fire department. And another church. Oh, I wonder what this is over here. Somebody's got a really nice house, looks like. Oh, look at that. And then Marty says on the corner here there used to be a gas station. Oh,
There it is.
there it is. That would have been where you drive through and get your gas pumped. Not anymore. Those have gone by the wayside. Look, Marty, you can get UP gourmet mushrooms over there.
Hot dog, let's go.
I didn't think you liked mushrooms.
Fried with onions, I do.
Those aren't exactly heart healthy. No, they're not. Here's the old school. They have a flag up. Somebody's maintaining it.
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat.
Covering the windows as they get broken.
Yeah, there's a few that they need to cover, it looks like.
I could see a light on in the basement.
Yeah, I think I can see that too. Well, that's enough of that. Sorry, Mocha. We ain't stopping. We gotta keep going if we want to make it to Christmas, Michigan before it gets dark. Actually, there's another reason why I want to get to Christmas, Michigan here shortly. And that's because I want to go over to the post office. I have a few things to mail. I thought it'd be really cool to mail out my 3 or so Christmas cards and a pile of thank yous utilizing their special Christmas stamp because, you know, like in Valentine, Texas, they have a special Christmas stamp for anything coming through the post office this time of year. And I guess it's a big deal. There's a lot of people that send stuff, I don't know if it's packages and mail, but specifically to get the stamp. And I wanted to do that as well.
Don't forget, we want to check out to see if they got any Christmas lights at night, and to see if the city's all decked out for being Christmas, Michigan.
Yeah, that's right. I love looking at Christmas lights, and we haven't, well, I shouldn't say that. We did go once with my parents. We drove through a Christmas light display, but other than that, we haven't gone and seen any lights ourselves, so I'm hoping that Christmas Michigan lives up to its name. We're getting closer. We're about 12 minutes out. I thought I'd show you some of the scenery here. It's pretty pretty. Pretty pretty. That's a new one. Pretty pretty. See how many times I say that this next day or two. It's pretty pretty. It's a body of water over here. I don't know what it is, if it's part of Autrain Bay or part of Lake Superior. Maybe both. I don't really have any internet right now, so I can't look. Cell signal is kind of a premium. There's their primary mode of transportation up here. Four-wheeling. That's how they get around. Decided to stop here. I think Mocha needs a bathroom break, but you don't need to see that. Rather, I wanted to show you Lake Superior. She's looking pretty rough today. Dark, gloomy, and the waves are just rolling in. Kind of like the day that the Edmund Fitzgerald ran into that horrible storm. It's getting kind of late in the day to be combing the beach here along the lake. Tomorrow morning, because we are going to be staying overnight, tomorrow morning I'm hoping to show you a few sights along Lake Superior. One of the things that I found when looking up Christmas, Michigan is that there used to be an old iron processing plant, for lack of better words, that is right along the lake there. It's the remains of the furnace, and we're gonna hopefully catch that for you because that's over by Christmas. Are you ready to head over to the post office? You can see that our next turn is going to be onto St. Nicholas Street. If that doesn't sound Christmassy, I don't know what does. It's like we've arrived at the North Pole. At least that's what Google Maps is saying, that we've arrived. No sign of the post office yet. Might have to pull over and see if we can plug that in. There's a casino right up over here. Maybe the post office is in there. And you see the big Santa Claus in front of the casino, greeting everybody that dares enter. And then there's the White Pine Lodge. That, I guess, is dog friendly. Current rates are going for $149 a night. And then this is Foggy's Steakhouse, which is open. Yay! I'm gonna grab my purse. We're gonna go on inside, possibly get something to eat, definitely use a bathroom, and hopefully find out where the post office is. You want the good news or the bad news? Bad news is they no longer have a post office here in Christmas, Michigan. Good news is, supposedly, if you bring your mail over into Munising to the post office there, you may be able to get it stamped with the official Christmas, Michigan stamp. By the way, for those of you wondering how our lunch or dinner or linner was, it was, in Marty's words,
A winner. It was good.
yes, the meat on them burgers was definitely real beef, and it was tasty. We give Foggy's Steakhouse a double thumbs up. It's also looking like there isn't a whole lot here in the way of Christmas themed decorations, memorabilia, what have you. Kind of what you see is what you get. Look, they got the Naughty Club. You can go over there, check out the Naughty Club.
My man.
Marty's taking us down one of the side streets here into the heart of Christmas. I hate to say it, but it's not looking good for a whole lot of Christmas stuff going on here in Christmas. I do want to point out, though, that their street names are very appropriately named. Over here we've got North Pole Street, and Scrooge's Alley is the one we just came down on. If you look beyond the street sign of North Pole and Bayberry Lane, you've got Lake Superior right over there. How would you like that? Having old Lake Superior in your backyard. I think it'd be really fantastic, personally. And then I would just want to point out again, over at the corner of Christmas Ave and St. Nicholas Ave is where you'll find the North Pole and a huge Santa Claus, along with Frosty the Snowman.
Is it me or does Santa look angry?
I think that's because he's sick of dealing with all the people heading over to the naughty club.
Hey! That's where I'm going after this, with a fistful of dollars.
I have nothing to say about that.
And I'm not referring to the Clint Eastwood movie either.
He should really be wearing this hat. Oh, look. They've got Mistletoe Lane and Mrs. Claus Lane over here. You gonna give me a big old fat kiss being on Mistletoe Lane?
No, I'm driving.
Try to get a little romantic here, and he doesn't even want to give me a kiss. Here's a better look at the Naughty Club. Looks like there used to be an antique mall there. Home of the original Christmas something or another. And then something that's not exactly Christmas themed is the Duck Pond Eatery and Beer Garden. Eat, drink, and quack. Closed for the season. It appears it might be part of something called Paddler's Village. What do you think? Should we go check out the furnace, the old iron furnace next?
Let's check it out. Winter Wonderland.
Oh yeah, sure is. Probably don't get too many people back here at this time of year.
Kind of like winter potholes, man.
Let's see. Can we go over this way?
The parking lot is open.
No camping overnight or overnight parking. It appears there may be a bit of a walking path. I'm gonna go check it out. See if we can find the old iron furnace or the remains of the old iron furnace. Lucky for me, snow's not very deep today, which makes it a lot easier to head down this path. Well, this doesn't look exactly like remains of an old iron furnace. Guess we would say this is a dead end. I'll walk back and maybe try the drive down by the campground, which is closed for the season. Gonna sniff where somebody else had left their mark. Come on, Leo. Come on, bud. Supposedly, I had read this online. I don't know if this is true or not, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is supposed to be a great beach where you can rock hound. Well, it appears Leo does not want to walk with me and is heading back towards the car. He's not stupid. He's smart. He knows where the warm place is. I guess I'll bring him back and then head back down towards the beach. Here you go, Leo. You can hang out here where it's warm. Okay, I'll see you guys. No, I'm good. I'll see you in a bit. All right, let's try this again. Take two. Sometimes it's like that when you got the pups. Can't predict what they're gonna do and gotta just roll with it, I guess. According to what Marty said from looking at Google Maps, the remains should be just beyond that opening. One thing I'm noticing is how peaceful it is. All you can hear is the sound of the waves rolling in onto the beach, and I don't see any people here, which means I'm gonna have the whole place to myself. Coming up on a sign that's telling me we're in the right direction, going in the right direction. Bay Furnace Ruins. What's here, the ruins, is all that remains of a settlement known as Onada. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comment section below. But a fire swept through in 1877 and basically wiped everything out except for the stone ruins that we're going to see here momentarily. Oh good, looks like I'm only going to be walking 1/8 of a mile through the entire loop. And it is roughly 37 degrees, which means it should be okay. I know some of you are going to be scolding me about not wearing a scarf or a mask, but I'm stubborn and it's hard to get an old dog to learn new tricks. Or so they say. The next sign that they've got here is asking, what's old, what's new? And they say, a short hot life between 1870 and 1877 resulted in a long cold death between 1877 and 1992, with a partial restoration between 1992 and 1993. In other words, the iron furnace only ran for a short period of time before the fire came through, destroying the settlement. Then afterwards, it was abandoned, fell into ruin, and now they've done a partial restoration on it. Which, this is what it looks like today. You can see it's right on the shores of Lake Superior, which provided easy access for shipping, along with the fact that this area here is kind of curved, along with the islands that you see out there, provided a safe harbor for ships coming in. And then if we look down over here, you're going to see some timbers sticking out of the sand. Those timbers are the remains of the docks that once stood here. Now here's something I didn't know, and that's the reason why the iron was called iron pigs. Don't laugh. But the liquid iron flowed through channels into sand molds where it hardened into bars, and those bars were called pigs because apparently those bars looked like little suckling pigs laying next to their mother. It all makes sense now, right? This whole time I had no idea why it was called pig iron. Well, I'm glad to say that mystery has been cleared up. You gotta see this room. Talk about a lovely place to stay, and even better, they're pet friendly, which for us is a must. But you gotta check out this view. We can see Lake Superior from our room. And if nature calls, we can let the dogs out through this little sliding glass door. No, you guys stay there for a sec. And then they've got their own personal potty right here. How cool is that? And look at that view. Isn't that just amazing? I can't wait to see it in the morning. There's Mocha, and Leo is way over there. They're waiting for me to get the feed bag on. We didn't make it to the post office in time. It closed at 4:30, and we're still like not used to the time jump, so we were thinking that we had plenty of time and we didn't. Anyways, we'll check out the post office tomorrow in Munising and see the sights of the town there. Tonight we're just gonna chillax a bit in our awesome room. There's Marty. You guys hungry? Are you guys hungry? Should we eat? Do you want to eat? Okay. I take it that's a yes. Here's probably the most decorated place in Christmas, Michigan. Maybe I spoke too soon. Looks like this house here also has some decorations. I think this might be it. I don't really see any more with lights. Do you?
Christmas ain't so Christmassy.
No, it's not. At least they have lights on at the North Pole. It's overcast. Didn't get to see the sunrise this morning. And I was just thinking that because that faces north, you probably get a good view of the northern lights. But again, overcast, so no being able to see the northern lights. Got one other thing I want to show you real quick. We're getting ready to head out so we can get back on the road. And that is... ta-da! It's Colorade. See what I mean about being a worldwide renowned brand? You ready to blow this popsicle stand?
Yep.
Alright.
Come on.
We're off. What do you think, sightseers? You gonna end up on the naughty list or the nice list? Because, as it just so happens, I have a copy right here of Sightseeing Sally's Santa's Nice List. Say that 10 times real fast. And the following people have ended up on this list for their generosity in tipping our trip jar, becoming a patron on Patreon, or joining Sightseeing Sidekicks on YouTube. By the way, since support for Sightseeing Sidekicks has been overwhelming, we hit our goal of 30 and then some. We currently have 50 members. I'm going to be breaking up over the next few videos shout outs to all the sidekicks. Ho ho ho! What's this I hear? You got some shout outs to give? Yes, Santa, we've got a bunch of shout outs to give, and I got a list right here I want to read off. So without further ado, here's our shout outs. First off, I'd like to give a special shout out of thanks to David from Arizona for generously tipping our trip jar and for giving me a wealth of information on the village of Kohler. Next, I'd like to say thank you to Richard from Tennessee and Paul from Illinois for also tipping the trip jar. Next, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Rhonda G, Sheba Sam, Ranger 0910, Slant 6 Guy, David B, and Mike for becoming our latest patrons here on Patreon. And last but not least, I'd like to give a special shout out of thanks to the following for becoming members of Sightseeing Sidekicks. Daryl Ashby, Tracy K, Vic Hudson, I Love My Dogs, Paul in Love, P. Tom Webster, Joe Schmo, Bill Benson, Brew Pilot, Pamela G, Mary E, Lori Du. What do you think, Santa? Is anybody going to end up on the dreaded naughty list this year?
That's where I'm going after this, with a fistful of dollars.
I know, we give Marty a hard time here, but I do think he could end up on the nice list. You know, he did get that awesome scooter. Looking around Christmas, Michigan, besides the fact that the street names are all Christmas themed, like Christmas Ave, St. Nicholas Ave, and then you have a couple of larger than life Santa Clauses sprinkled about this small 400-some town. There really isn't a whole lot here that makes it Christmassy. We went and looked at Christmas lights last night and only found a few places here in town that even had some Christmas lights. So I hate to say this, but I kind of think our visit to a Christmas town was a bit of a bust. Yeah, I know. I don't like to say things like that. I guess maybe my expectations were just a little high, is all.